welcome back to Teacher Gimble's channel. Today we're going to be going over Illustrative Math, Algebra 1, Unit 1, Lesson 8, Practice Problems. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments below. And as always, if you like this video, please like and subscribe so you can get more like it. Let's get started. Today we're going to be working with spreadsheets. Now, a spreadsheet is a particularly useful tool, and you can always find a spreadsheet in Google Forms or if you like to use Excel, and I'm sure there are other word processors that do this as well. But I'm going to be using Google Forms. Technology required, so that's Google Forms in this case. Open a blank spreadsheet. Use the fill down to recreate the table of the equivalent ratios. You should not need to type anything in rows 3 through 10. So what this is saying right now is that we should be able to recreate this whole table by only typing in the top 4 numbers. Let's talk about how we can do this. So I recreated the table over here. I've got my column A and I've got my column B. And I'm going to go ahead and recreate the table. Now what I do is I highlight my 2 numbers in the column. Make sure my computer's working. I highlight these 2 numbers right here. And now I see those 2 numbers. I put my cursor until I find this black cross. What that black cross is saying, it's saying find the pattern and repeat it for as many boxes as I pull it down into it. It finds a pattern, I repeat it, and there we go. We found our column. We're going to do it again over here. So we highlight these 2 numbers, move my cursor around. I don't want the pointer. I don't want the hand. I want the black plus sign. I click and I'm dragging it down to row 10, and it says repeat that pattern, and we've repeated the pattern over here. And that's it. We have recreated that spreadsheet. If you have a question, pause and watch this video again. If not, we're moving forward. A list of numbers is made with a pattern. Start with 11 and subtract 4 to find the next number. Here is the beginning of the list. Explain how you could use the fill down in a spreadsheet to find the 10th number in this list. You do not actually need to find this number. Well, if I wanted to find the 10th number in the list, I would type in 11, and underneath it, I would put 7, and underneath that, I would put 3. I would highlight all 3 numbers, find my cursor with a black plus in the corner, the right-hand corner, and drag it down to row 10, and it will automatically populate those 10 boxes and find me the 10th number. And that's it. Problem number 3. Here's a spreadsheet showing the computations for a different version of the birthday trick. Explain what formulas you will enter in cells B4 through B8 so cell BH shows a number representing the month and the day. In this example, cell B8 should show 704, which makes sense because we're talking about the 7th month, the 4th day. If you have access to a spreadsheet, try your formulas with a month and a day and see whether it works. So let's go ahead and give it a go. We have our month listed in cell B1. I'm just going to put over here. That's B1. We have our day listed in cell B2. So if we want to multiply our month by 50, we're going to take whatever is in our month, and we're not going to put 7 because our months can change. So we're going to put B1. We're going to use our asterisk as a multiplication sign, and we're multiplying it by 50. And that's it. We now want to add 30. So what we're going to do is we're adding 30 to the number we just had. So whatever number ends up in this box, we're going to call him B4 because it is B4, the number that's in this box, add, so plus 30. Similarly, when we want to multiply that number by 2, instead of using this whole formula, we're just going to say whatever is in this box, which in this case is B5. We're going to use our asterisk because that's our multiplication symbol, and we're going to multiply it by 2. We now want to take this value right here, which is B6, because that's the name of the box, B6, and we're going to add the day. Our day value comes up in this box over here, which is B2. So we're going to say we're going to add the day, which is B2. Finally, our last step is we are going to take our value that comes here, which is B7, and we are going to subtract 60. And that should get us our correct answer. Now, if we put this all into a spreadsheet, which you can do on your own, open up your spreadsheet and give it a go, you're going to see that we're going to end up with 704 in that box. Pause this video here if you need a second to type this out. Otherwise, we are moving on to the next question. Problem number 4. Write a formula that you could type into a spreadsheet to compute the value of each expression. All right, let's go ahead and do this. We're going to zoom in so we can see a little better. 2/5 of 35. So I always like to put my fractions in parentheses. The parentheses aren't strictly necessary here. So 2/5 we write as 2 divided by 5. In this case, of 35 means we multiply of 35 because that's how we find 2/5 of 35 is by multiplication. Number 2, 25 divided by 5/3. Don't forget our equal signs. So we say 25 divided by, and again, parentheses are your friends, 5 divided by 3. So the division sign can be used, the dash is a division sign. It's also used as a fraction sign. For this one over here, we're going to put our 1/11th, which is 1 divided by 11th. And to get an exponent, instead of making the number small, we just add this little caret dude, caret 4, which means to the 4th power. Now we want to find the average of 0, 3, and 17. There are 2 ways we could do this. We could have equals the mean of 0, 3, 17, or you could have it equal average of 0, 3, and 17. Either one of these will work. They will both find you the average of 0, 3, and 17. All right, let's move on to the next question. Problem number 5. The data set represents the number of cars in a town given a speeding ticket each day for 10 days. What is the median? Interpret this value in the situation. All right, so if you remember, we've done a lot of median so far. We're going to cross out from either side until we end up with a middle number. In this case, our median is 7. We have speeding tickets each day, so it's going to be 7 speeding tickets. What this means is half the days there was less than 7 speeding tickets given, and half the days there was more than 7 speeding tickets given. So the median split the data into 50%, 2 50% buckets, half that are lower than the median, half that are higher than the median. What is the IQR? If you remember, the formula for IQR, which stands for the interquartile range, is equal to Q3 minus Q1. Let's go ahead and figure out what Q1 and Q3 are before we go ahead and calculate the IQR. Now, if you don't remember how to do this, I recommend you going back and watching some old videos to make sure you remember this. But if you do, you are good to go. We're going to go find the middle number of each value, which gets us 5. And over here, we're going to get us 8 plus 8. It's the 2 middle numbers divided by 2. Gives me 16 divided by 2, which equals 8, which is 8. This actually makes me realize that our median the median is 7, but we accidentally crossed out one too many numbers over here. So for the middle value, for our median, it would have been the number that's right in the middle over there, which in this case would be 7 plus 7 divided by 2. This gets you 14. So we made a mistake, which is okay. Mistakes happen. And so when you're counting for the median, you're going to cross this out, be left with a 5, cross this out, cross that out, cross this out, cross that out, be left with this 8 right here. So as mathematicians, we all make mistakes, and the key is just seeing them, checking them, and making sure that you've done it correctly. All right. In this case, our mistake still left us with the right answer, but that's not always the case. So IQR is Q3, which is 8, minus Q1, which is 5, which gets you 3. So the interquartile range is 3. Problem number 6. The data set represents the most recent sales price in thousands of dollars of 10 homes on the street. What is the mean? So to calculate the mean, we have to add up all of these numbers and then divide by the number there are. Now in this case, it says that there are 10 homes. So that helps us with the calculation. So we don't have to actually count how many there are. So we're going to take a second. We're going to put out our handy dandy calculators and we're going to calculate that sum, which gets us a sum of 1,002. Now to find the mean, we're going to take our sum, which is 1,002, divide it by the number there are, which gets us to 100.2. That looks like it falls out in the relative middle of our numbers, so that would be our correct mean. Now to find the MAD, MAD stands for mean, average, distance. We are going to need to calculate the distance of every number from the mean. Let's see if we can do this in our head. 85 is 15.2 away from the mean. 91 is going to be 9.2 away from the mean. 93 is going to be 7.2 away from the mean. This is going to be 1.2, 1.2, 1.2. Where 102 is going to be 1.8 away from the mean. 108 is going to be 7.8, 9.8, and 14.8. We are now going to take all of these numbers that we just calculated. Now, if you want to know how I calculated them, I subtracted our mean from the value, and I took the positive value number of that. So I said 85 minus 102, that gave me negative 15.2, but our distances are always going to be positive number. So for MAD, we're always going to use positive numbers to calculate it. So I'm then going to add up all of my distances that I just calculated, just like I did for the first part, because what we're doing is we're taking the mean of all of these distances. And once I add them all up, it's going to help me find the mean of this value. So adding them all up, I get 69.4, and to get the mean, I'm going to take the 69.4 and divide it by 10 because we end up with 10 values, and I got 6.94. All right, so our mean average value is 6.94. Now, our answers are always going to be in thousands of dollars. So this would be $100.2 thousand, which is the mean of the sale price of the homes on the street, and the mean average distance of that is 6.94 thousands of dollars. All right. Pause this video if you have any questions. If not, please like and subscribe below and come and see me in my next video. Thanks for watching.